It's Witness Wednesday, and today's witness not only is the witness to a crime, but a victim of a crime who may help solve the mystery of the whereabouts of Melodee Buzzard. Let's dig in. This video contains mature themes and discussions intended only for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello there, my friend, and welcome back to another true crime discussion with me. My name is Gavin Fish. On this channel, we'd like to cut through the fluff, the sensationalism of true crime. We do our very best. If that describes what you like, then man, have you found the right place, and I'm glad you have. I'm switching things up a little bit today. I was thinking, what this channel needs? It needs a little production value. Plus, it needs a little bit of, let's say, organization. I normally just hop right into the case that we're talking about. Tonight, we're talking about Melodee Buzzard, but I really feel like we need a little bit of a change. So we're just going to try it. We're going to try it on. We're going to have a taste, a little nibble, see if we like it. And if we do, maybe we'll do it again. So let's start out, before we get into the case tonight, let's start out with some true crime headlines. Here we go.
True crime headlines!
Huh? How'd you like that? Got a little production value here. Yeah. Let's do that one more time. You ready? Here we go.
True crime headlines!
I'm really rethinking that. I shouldn't have done that twice. Once is enough. You don't need to dig in, Gavin. You don't need to bury yourself in what is obviously some amazing production value. I mean, I blew the whole budget, the entire budget on that little intro to the little segment, True Crime Headlines. What I thought I'd do is just let's get a little taste of what is happening in the world of true crime. We're going to start off on Crime Cod, an article written by Jacob Charles, 14-year-old search. I could not believe this when I read it. 14-year-old searched how to find the perfect victim before killing neighbor. Oh. Fairfax, Ohio. A 14-year-old boy will spend the rest of his teenage years, not long enough in my opinion, behind bars after admitting to the premeditated murder of his 64-year-old neighbor, Sheila Denise Tenpenny, a crime prosecutors say he spent months planning in chilling detail. Let me see if I can zoom up on this just a little bit. If I go one more, there we go. All right. According to WLWT, the boy, who was 13 at the time of the killing, pleaded guilty Monday in Hamilton County Juvenile Court to aggravated murder, aggravated burglary, and strangulation. In exchange, prosecutors agreed to drop 6 additional charges and a serious youthful offender indictment that could have exposed him to adult sentencing later on. Under the plea agreement, the teen will remain in custody at an Ohio Department of Youth Services facility until his 21st birthday, the maximum sentence allowed for a juvenile. He is barred from contacting Tenpenny's family and cannot seek early release. Assistant prosecutor Linda Scott told the court that the boy had been researching how to kill for months before the February attack. According to reporting from Cincinnati.com, investigators found that the teen searched online for how to strangle someone, how to choose the perfect victim, and how to defeat a police interrogation, even using ChatGPT and other engines to gather information. Quote, for months, the defendant did this sort of search, Scott said in court, according to WLWT. He researched how to strangle someone, how to do it, how to find a victim. Police say the attack unfolded sometime between late February 1st and early February 2nd at 10 Penny's Germania Street home. Her brother discovered her body under a pillow and called 911, telling dispatchers, I think my sister's been murdered. Wow. The Hamilton County Coroner's Office later found trauma to Tenpenny's head and neck consistent with being beaten and strangled. Scott said the boy broke into the home while Tenpenny was asleep, struck her, and then suffocated her as she fought for her life. DNA evidence later tied him to the scene. Investigators found his blood throughout the home, his watch beneath her body, and strands of his hair clutched in her hand. Just crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay. So that happened. And thank you to Jacob for bringing us that article. One more article. Oh my goodness, this shocked me. From Crime Cod, the headline is Trailer Park Boys star Mike Smith charged with SA. Let's zoom in on this. Whoa, spilling my Wawa here. The actor known to television audiences as Bubbles on Trailer Park Boys has been charged in Canada with an alleged SA that occurred in 2017. As I wipe up my spilled water. Okay. Actor Mike Smith, widely recognized for his role as Bubbles on the television series Trailer Park Boys, has been charged with SA in Canada. The 53-year-old performer was formally charged on October 2nd in Halifax, Nova Scotia. That reminds me, I wonder what's going on with Jack and Lily Sullivan. We got to check in on that. According to documents obtained from the court by CBC News. The charge is connected to an alleged SA that took place in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia in December 2017. Smith has been ordered by the court not to make contact with a victim whose name has not been made public due to a publication ban. Smith is currently scheduled to appear in court in Halifax this week. This court appearance marks the beginning of the judicial process for the actor concerning the SA charge. Following a public report of the charge, Smith withdrew from his management duties with the company that oversees the show's operations, Trailer Park Boys, Inc., which manages the production, merchandise, and streaming service associated with the series, confirmed the change in leadership. Trailer Park Boys, Inc. told People in a statement that it was aware of the allegation concerning Mike Smith dating back to 2017 and take such matters seriously. The company added it recognizes how difficult an allegation of this nature is for all involved. That article goes on. That is written by Kate. Thank you, Kate, for that article. One more before we head on back to the main story of the day. Listen to this headline. This is from Law and Crime. 9-month-old dies with eggshells and feathers in his stomach, leading to his mother's arrest for murder, according to cops. Oh, okay. A Florida woman is behind bars after her 9-month-old. Oh, man. This whole low energy thing. Sorry, guys. Let's start that over. Take 2. We'll just cut that out in post. A Florida woman is behind bars after her 9-month-old got a hold of some cocaine and methamphetamine and ingested the drugs along with eggshells and feathers, leading to his death, according to authorities. Natalia Munoz Paulino, 26, stands accused of second-degree murder and aggravated CA, according to a probable cause arrest affidavit reviewed by Law and Crime. And I think they have a link right to it. I might open that and read that later. Detectives with Miami-Dade Police Department responded to a hospital on July 2nd, 2024, when a 9-month-old baby boy was pronounced dead. By the way, guys, look at the lower third there. Tell me where you're viewing from, will you? Because I'm going to get to your comments before we head over to our case of the day. Investigators went to Munoz Paulino's apartment on the 8,000 block of Southwest 147th Avenue, found it to be disheveled, unkempt, and dirty, with several items of clothing, old food trash, and used hygienic products scattered on the floor. Cops at the scene said they had to prevent the boy's older sibling from eating out of a baby oil bottle. Wow. The mother explained she fell asleep while cradling the victim and woke up to find him purple, unresponsive, and stiff. Fell asleep? But she later told investigators and other family members different stories about what happened. She said he had fallen and hit his head, that he had drowned, and that he had choked. Wow. The suspect later told detectives that her son was prone to placing foreign objects in his mouth. Yeah, because children are. Hello. An autopsy discovered he had eggshells and feathers in his stomach. The cause of death was lethal amounts of cocaine and meth, while the manner of death was homicide by child neglect. Cops arrested Munoz Paulino on Monday. Post Miranda, she admitted to using drugs on the weekend of her son's death while hosting a party at her apartment. The boy's father said he lives out of state and had previously seen the suspect use meth at the apartment. She remains at the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center without bond. She pleaded not guilty. Oh, some days, guys, some days some days are just too much. These are the headlines. These are some of the headlines in true crime.
True crime headlines.
I don't know if we need that outro. I don't know. It seems superfluous to me, but I did it anyway. So there's that. Okay, guys. Today we are talking about the case of Melodee Buzzard. Of course, Melodee Buzzard is just a little 9-year-old who has gone missing. Her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, has not been cooperative with police. More has come out about this woman, Ashlee Buzzard, and I think that's where we're going to start tonight. This was unearthed. I saw it on Banfield. Where am I trying to go to? I'm trying to go here. I saw it on Banfield. They had uncovered this old newspaper, the Santa Maria Times, from Saturday, February 11th, 1995. The title is Lessons from the School of Hard Knocks. Educators extend a hand to the homeless. And I just want to read this. Look at this photo. We've got a podcast now. You guys aren't seeing this. This is a photo of a newspaper. The caption reads, Student Ashlee Buzzard, age 9, with her tutor, Carlos Gonzalez. Ashlee and her mom, Miranda, are one of the success stories in the county schools office's outreach to homeless students and their families. So this right here, this little 9-year-old girl, that is Ashlee. Let me show a better picture. She wears different things, different wigs and stuff like that. But anyway, that is her. Let's read this real quick. This just gives us a little background on Ashlee. With no job, home, or car, and $40 in her pocket, Lori Miranda and her young daughter faced the streets of Santa Maria. But rather than feeling hopeless, the mother and daughter team looked at their predicament as an opportunity to begin a new life. Originally living in Orange County, Miranda, 33, said she and Ashlee, 9, again, this is from 1995, moved from place to place, often sleeping in hotels to be free of Miranda's husband. Quote, he would follow us everywhere, recalled Miranda, stressing that her now ex-husband and Ashlee's father was not only physically, verbally, and emotionally abusive, but also abused substances. He would smash our house windows and harass us. To escape, Miranda and Ashlee boarded a bus in June headed for the Five Cities area. After staying with a relative in Grover Beach for 1 month, they came to Santa Maria. I wanted to go back to school and get a job, said Miranda, adding that she relied on her former mate to support her. That's a weird word in American English. Her former mate? Like her husband? Maybe they were just trying to get the right spacing there. He told me I was nothing and that I'd always be nothing, but I knew I could be something. I used to deal and do drugs, but I got sober and got my GED, which is a high school diploma equivalent. The two eventually found their way to the Good Samaritan shelter at 406 South Pine Street, where they remained for 30 days. I was able to save up some money doing odd jobs and get an apartment, which they share with a roommate, Miranda said. In addition, she enrolled Ashlee into Miller's school. For 2 hours after school, Ashlee began and continues to participate in the Homeless Education Liaison Project, organized by the Santa Barbara County Education Office in conjunction with various community partnerships. The program tutors school-aged children. I think I've got the second page here. This is another picture. This is Ashlee Buzzard with her mother, Lori Miranda. The mother and daughter team, once homeless, have a place to stay and a school for Ashlee now, as well as a career for Lori. So during this time, this is continued on page A4. During this time, Miranda paid a visit to the Center for Employment Training. Actually, you know what? Let me skip down. Okay, for Ashlee, life has made her grow up quickly. She has seen so much, Miranda said. She is very responsible, gets excellent grades in school, but I want her to enjoy being a kid now. She has never done that. What advice do the mother and daughter have for those who think they do not have enough strength to leave a bad situation? They do have the strength, said Ashlee. Oh, Ashlee said that at age 9. Don't give up. There are a lot of people out there to help you, Miranda added. There's a way out. It's too easy to say, I quit. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Talk about foreshadowing. Because I feel like this mother quit. Oh, goodness. Okay. There is a way out. It's too easy to say, I quit. It's too easy to sleep in the park. You don't have to sleep in the park. So I think this does give us a bit of just a little understanding of the background of Ashlee Buzzard. Now, the short story of this, of course, is that she went and rented a car in disguise. Her daughter was also in disguise, little Melodee. She went on a road trip that went all the way to Nebraska and to Kansas. She transited back through Colorado, Utah, Nevada, back into Southern California, into the Inland Empire. And but when she arrived home, no Melodee was to be discovered. Now, as we know, Ashlee Buzzard was arrested a couple of days ago on charges unrelated, or I guess loosely related. They call them unrelated, but I would say loosely related. And she was in court today. Now, I could not find the entire hearing, but I did find a segment that I'm going to go ahead and play now. Now, the audio is horrible. I had to bump it way up so that we could hear it. I tried to drop the noise just a little bit so that we could hear what they're saying. But, well, I don't want to ruin it. Let me just start this and we will talk about it after. Here we go.
Galvan, Ms. Lockie, on behalf of the people. Mr. Galvan.
Your Honor, Ms. Buzzard waives formal reading and advisement of the complaint. We're entering inoculation.
I should say this is from KUTV in Salt Lake City. Obviously, with the Utah connection, I think Utah news outlets are reporting on this.
Plea with no time waiver. We're requesting an assignment as quickly as possible.
Okay, we'll have your assignment in one moment. Not guilty plea is entered. Special allegations are deemed denied. The court has relation of the parties. Mr. Galvan, would you like to be heard as to your defendant's status?
Yes, Your Honor. Judge, I've read the pretrial service report. I have also read the discovery that's been provided in this case. We're requesting that Ashlee be released either OR or supervisor. She is not a flight risk. And the allegation in this case is non-serious, non-violence, and you can fashion terms and conditions of release.
I think I might quibble with the non-serious, non-violent part of it. He's saying she's not a flight risk, and it's not a serious case. It's not violent. We're gonna read a little bit more about that.
That can serve public safety concerns and return Ashlee to court at any time that your honor orders.
Ms. Buzzard has been notably uncooperative with law enforcement and child welfare services.
Following first, ma'am, good morning. Ma'am, you are ordered to have no contact with Tyler S. Brewer. I'm not sure I've ever seen a 236 with a 0 with a probation over.
By the way, these cuts were not made by me. These cuts are made by KUTV. The hearing was obviously much longer than this, but we've only got about 30 seconds left.
Override, and I'm not sure where that comes from.
I'm sorry, may I be heard as to the co-workers?
Sure.
I'm also requesting that she be subject to search and seizure. This case did involve the use of a box cutter.
Let's see. Report to Longboat?
Please.
Yes, report to Longboat. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's all I have. The 2 minutes and 26 seconds of that. So what do we get out of that? She has been released. She is no longer in jail. From what I understand, there is an order for her to wear an ankle monitor and an order for her to stay away from her victim, Mr. Tyler Brewer. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to check in with you guys. Where are you guys from? Let's see. We got... Where are we? Man. Gotta scroll. Ah, here we are. All right, we got New Bedford, Mass in the house. We got Indiana. We got Seattle, Washington. We got Nova Scotia, Northern New Jersey, Hopkinton, Mass. Cape Cod, Mass. Springfield, Missouri. Oklahoma. We've got Missouri, Freeman, Missouri. We've got, New England. What do we got? Got a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. I'm so glad that you guys have joined me. Let's see what you guys are saying over here, okay? First, New England Coast says that I have the best intro, short and sweet. Hates the long intros. Good. Mamma Mia, yeah, heard the mother got out of jail. Indeed, she did. Just Ducky, in what world can you not produce your minor child? If she's with a friend, fine. Just let a social worker or someone follow up. Indeed. In fact, Mooney replies, very Lori Vallow-like behavior, right? Let's bring up a picture of our little one here. Let's see. Tammy says, I pray the little girl is safe. Was mama selling her or something is strange? This has been on TV, but no news is coming. Yeah. And Melissa says she's definitely a flight risk. You'd think. And continuing, we've got Sweden in the house, Tennessee, Lubbock, Texas. Hello from Germany. What part of Germany are we at, Daniela? In my business travels, I spent quite a bit of time in Germany. Quite a bit. I was in Munich every May, which was an audio show that I would go to, but it was also Spargel season, which I loved. Spargel. And I also had clients, my distributor up in Hamburg, so I spent a fair amount of time up there. West Virginia, Appalachia, Omaha, Nebraska, Idaho, Manitoba, Canada, Michigan, Northeast Tennessee, Kansas, La República Dominicana. Welcome. Northern Nevada, Tennessee, Halifax, Battle Creek, Michigan, North Mississippi, Missouri, Kansas City, Kentucky, Niagara Falls. All right. Man, Prescott, Arizona. Danielle is in Berlin. All right. I've only spent a little bit of time in Berlin. Not much. Not much. LaGrange, Georgia, New York. All right. We have got lots. Clearwater, Florida, even. Okay. Rachel says, Gavin, it still doesn't sound like she's cooperating. No, she's not cooperating. Ashlee's not cooperating. Ashley Higgins asks, Gavin, what's your gut saying? Do you think Melodee is still alive, or do you think the outcome is going to be grave? Reminds me of Madalena, what is that, Kojikari? I think the likelihood that Melodee is alive is very low. Very low. Daniela is originally from München, now based in Berlin. Very cool. Spargel is the best. Guys, if you don't know what spargel is asparagus, but it is grown in Munich in a very different way. As the asparagus stalk grows, they continue to pile dirt upon it so that the sun never sees it, so that the chlorophyll doesn't turn green. And it gets to be about that big around, and the stalks that you eat are like a foot long. They cook them in butter. It's delicious. They're bright white and tender and delicious, and I just would nosh on them. I'd get myself a Wiener Schnitzel with Spargel. Oh, yes. Remembering all my times in Munich. Anyway, okay, you know what I just had? Oh, I prepared for this, guys. I prepared for this. This is what I just had. I have to... Ready? Yes. Yeah, I just had a tangent. What did I just have? Why don't I learn from the first time? You don't need to do it more than once. I'm just trying to up the production value here, guys. Got on a real tangent there. Okay, let's dig in. Let's dig in a little bit more. There are a couple of other articles. First, from KSBY that I want to bring you. This is former FBI agent weighs in on the arrest of missing girl's mother. So one of the things that really is frustrating about this case to me is there just doesn't seem to be very much information that is like court documents and affidavits of probable cause. All we have are things that people are saying, things that they're reporting from court. I know that there was an affidavit of probable cause against Ashlee, but I've not been able to actually get my hands on it. So, plus, as the reporting from News Nation went, it's very brief. It doesn't really have a long probable cause affidavit. Okay, so former FBI agent weighs in on the arrest of missing girl's mother. A felony charge of false imprisonment was filed Monday against a Vandenberg Village mother whose daughter is missing. However, the charge against Ashlee Buzzard is unrelated to her missing 9-year-old daughter, Melodee, authorities said. KSBY spoke to the alleged victim in the case, identified in the criminal complaint as Tyler S. Brewer. He tells us he's a local paralegal and legal document assistant and knew Buzzard years ago. He says he was at her home last week when Buzzard had a box cutter near her and wouldn't let him leave. Box cutter near her. I don't know what that means. He says he initially reached out to her to see if he could help find Melodee and was in communication with authorities during his talks with Buzzard. I see what he's doing there. Good for him. He tells us he's now very worried about Melodee, and when asked about his recent interactions with the girl's mother, he said the whole thing was so bizarre. He emphasized that his intention remains to help find the missing girl. Santa Maria-based attorney Michael B. Clayton says false imprisonment can carry a 3-year sentence. The Santa Barbara County Jail confirmed with KSBY on Monday that Buzzard has a 1275 hold on her bail. What is a 1275 hold on bail? Let's look that up real quick. A 1275 hold on bail means the court has reason to suspect the money intended to be used for bail may come from illegal activity and will not accept the funds until the defendant proves they are legitimate. Oh my goodness. Man, that kind of adds a little wrinkle here, right? So the court has reason to believe that money that Ashlee Buzzard has that may be used for jail could be illicitly gained or illicitly obtained, which kind of takes me back, guys, over here to where we read that her mother was once a dealer, right? Right here, he told me I was nothing and that I'd always be nothing, but I knew I could be something. I used to deal and do drugs, but I got sober and got my GED. That, it's so hard to break out of stuff like that. I wonder. I mean, Ashlee was 9, but you know what? It is the exception that proves the rule of children that are able to break that precedent, that family precedent. Okay, so she has that 1275 hold on her bail. Clayton, who is not involved in Buzzard's case, says that means she cannot post bail. I could have just read ahead. Oh my goodness. And be released until she can prove where the money for the bail came from. It's a safeguard, Clayton says, is usually used in higher risk investigations. A 1275 hold is where you have to prove the source of the funds. So if you pony up $100,000, they're going to want to know where the funds came from or come from, Clayton said. Investigators say, and then, I'll keep going. Investigators say Melodee has not been seen since October 9th, 5 days before she was reported missing after her school administrator reported her prolonged absence. Authorities say, and we know this, surveillance images from around that time show the mother and daughter traveling together across multiple states before Ashlee returned alone and has been uncooperative with authorities and provided no information as to where her daughter may be. Former FBI agent Tom Parker shared insight about Buzzard's recent arrest. One reason is to get the suspect into custody, make it easier for interviewing them and keeping track of them, he said. It's also a method of putting pressure on them to get from them all the information they might have about what happened, whether they were involved or not. Parker spent 24 years in the FBI, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now let's get over here to News Nation. This is the same person, Tyler Brewer, right? Headline says, Ashlee Buzzard accuser says daughter may be alive. The man who accused Ashlee Buzzard of false imprisonment believes her daughter, Melodee, could still be alive and in the state of Utah. The missing 9-year-old has not been seen in 32 days as the investigation continues into her whereabouts, despite Ashlee's unwillingness to cooperate with police. Man, I just hope that that it is something where in her deranged mind, she was trying to find a safe place to put her daughter and maybe in a paranoid state just won't talk to police, won't participate in anything, even with an attorney, right? I hope that is it. I fear that is not it. Tyler S. Brewer, who filed charges against Buzzard on Friday, told News Nation she revealed to him where Melodee is and who she was left with. He did not share any further details of her whereabouts with News Nation, except to say he suspects the girl is in Utah. Brewer also shared concern about whether what Buzzard told him was true. Cut that out in post, Gavin. Given her state of mind and recent behavior, Brewer told News Nation he has known Buzzard through a friend since 2014. He said he had been coming over to Buzzard's Lompoc, California home to check on her since the case of her missing daughter was publicized. Yeah, she was charged with false imprisonment, blah, blah, blah. She was in court today to face the felony charge. She has made bail. Brewer alleges Buzzard began acting irrationally on the 6th of October when he was visiting her home, accusing him of working with the police and the paternal side of the family to take Melodee away from her. Well, you know what? He was working with police. I don't know if she became irrational if he indeed was working with police, but I mean, anyway, he said Buzzard kept shutting her eyes and making fists and blocked the door, preventing him from leaving. She then slammed the front door and engaged 4 locks on that door. He said she eventually let him leave and he went straight to the authorities to report what happened. Brewer claimed Buzzard has mental health issues, is extremely paranoid, and is a totally different person from when they first met. He said he has grave concerns about Melodee's well-being. And then they report on her troubled upbringing, which I read that already. So, I mean, that's where we are. Let's bring up little Melodee again and go over to your comments and questions, see if there's anything that I can answer for you guys. Hello, Meredith from Nebraska. Emily 53 from New Jersey. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Robin says my new intro music needs more cowbell. I will take that under advisement. I personally don't play the cowbell. I wouldn't say I play multiple instruments. I would say I tinker on multiple instruments. But the cowbell is not one of those. Now the clave, Robin, would the clave do? I don't know. Is that the same as going on a tangent? Yeah, I occasionally, what do I do? I occasionally go on a tangent. It is true. Garth B. Nutt is saying, reminding me of Vinnie Politan. Well, that's good. That's good. Britt says, taking from Vinnie Politan. I don't know. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about there, but I'll take it as a compliment. Meredith says, even if she said she's in Utah, I don't believe her. Gavin, you have a vast audience. Indeed, I do. They are vast. They're all over the place. Ashlee Higgins says, Gavin, remember when Grandma said she believes Ashlee may have seen people that she used to know when Melodee's dad was alive in Utah? Yeah, maybe. I mean, we should keep hope alive that little Melodee is alive. We should definitely do that. We should do that. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see. Family Precedent, Analytical One says, is actually a good way to describe the generational curse the young lady mentioned a couple of nights ago. Yeah, that was in the case of Kevin Mullins, right? The young woman who spoke with Brian Enton talked about the generational curse. Yes, indeed. It's tough to break those. Very tough. Let's see. Tammy says, no cowbell, love Baby Gavin. Baby Gavin's lost. I don't know where Baby Gavin went. Stuck on Strings does love the tangents. Rachel says, I'm wondering why they haven't used a charge similar to Lori Vallow ordering to produce her daughter. Yeah, well, other than, I don't know if they have the power to do that in California. It's a different state, right? Different state, different place. Let's see. Bipolar disorder can cause psychosis and delusions if not medicated properly or at all. Yep. Black Brit. Okay, Vinny has a show called Vinny and the Tangents on his YouTube and also plays a song for it. I didn't know that. Awesome. Oh, yeah, I guess I am taking after Vinnie Politan. What am I doing? Going on a tangent. That's what I'm doing. All right. Okay. Now listen. You guys may think, hey, Gavin has cranked it up to 11. little Spinal Tap reference there. He couldn't possibly do any more. But you would be wrong, my friend. You would be wrong. We're going to do our final segment of the night. Let's get into it.
It's 3 questions with Gavin Fish.
Guys, when I was on Quantum Mixtape with my buddy, he played a little game. That he just called 3 questions and said, you have to consent to the game, which I did. And the game is that there are 3 questions and they could be about anything. And you just have to have faith that, it's just a leap of faith. They could be about anything and they could be completely inappropriate. But you are duty bound by oath to answer those questions. And I loved the format, so I'm totally stealing it from Candy V over at Quantum Mixtape. If you haven't seen that, just search Quantum Mixtape, Gavin Fish. You'll find it. In fact, if you go over to the fish tank, you'll find it there. Okay. Now, what I want you guys to do is to email any question that you want me to answer. And the reason that I want to do this is, we've gotten into some personal things here on me old channel. And it seems like you guys kind of like my old stories. So I think once we're done with our headlines and once we're done with our main story of the day, we can take a moment to just kind of get into Gavin, which is that's kind of a gross turn of phrase, but you know what I mean. So if you have questions that you want me to answer about any subject, does not have to relate to true crime, does not have to relate to YouTube, to my job. It can relate to anything. If you want to know the mysteries of the universe, or at least my opinion about the mysteries of the universe, you can ask. Just send your email to 3questions@gavinfish.com, and I'm not going to guarantee it, but I will choose 3 questions to answer at the end of every show. Now today, I asked my mods, and gotta say, they were easy on me. So here are my 3 questions from my mods. Okay. And I have kind of thought about these things, but you guys might feel unsatisfied. And you might feel unsatisfied because this is the first time we're doing it. And these are kind of softball questions. I want the hard balls. Okay. Kenny was asking me questions about, like, have I ever witnessed anything supernatural? Or, what do I think happens when we die? Like, kind of the deep philosophical questions. He's a philosophical guy. So anyway, you may feel unsatisfied by these, but if you are, then send in a question of your own, and hopefully we will get to it. Okay? That's what we will do. We will do our very best. Okay. Question number 1 was, what is something you fear that's unreasonable, but the fear exists regardless? I thought about this a little bit, and I can't think of anything that I fear that is irrational. I really only have one fear. No, that's not true. Like, I fear things like, a death of a child, or the death of my spouse. I fear what life is going to be like after my parents die. I've been thinking a lot about mortality lately, so I've been thinking a lot of those things. But the one fear that I have that I think is rational. So I'm cheating on this question. I don't think I have any irrational fears. But I do fear public humiliating failure. And it is it's a personality flaw. Like, and I mean like the smallest things. Like I was afraid to go out for my 7th grade basketball team, a team that everybody got on, because I was afraid that I wouldn't make the cut. I, you know, I wanted to grow my hair out long, and I've tried several times before, and I always get sick of it. And so, in order to successfully grow the hair out long so that I could donate it, I publicly stated I'm growing my hair out long so I can donate it. And that made the fear of failing on what I told everybody I would do outweigh all the other parts that would make me fail, right? Same thing right now with losing weight. I was up to 288 pounds. 288 pounds. And so, and I've, I've tried several times to get in shape. But after having made a deep realization that, Gavin, this is a tool here. This is a tool that you can use. I announced to everybody, I'm going to lose 88 pounds and get myself in shape. In fact, what I said is I don't like fat Gavin. I like fit Gavin. And so, ever since I mentioned it here on the airwaves, and I have this fear of failing in front of you, I have been on my freaking game. Like, I've been on my game. I'm working out 6 days a week, three cardio sessions, light cardio, just walking. I walk 4 miles each time, so I walk about 12 miles a week, and then 3 weightlifting sessions. And I have harnessed that fear to hopefully get down to 200 pounds, which is about where I should be if I'm fit. Like if I build muscle. If I'm not building muscle, I should be like 180, 185, something like that. But 200 muscular, that's about right for me. So yeah, that it is something. I mean, I deeply fear it, guys. I deeply, deeply fear it. When I was a teenager, it kept me from doing so many cool things. Like going to like asking a girl out on a date to go to a dance, right? I was so afraid to do that. And so I just didn't do it. What are some of the other things I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, that just a lot of those that I just deeply, deeply fear public failure. It's humiliating to me. So, in fact, I talked to our kids about this quite a bit, right? Sometimes I think it's natural for children to compare themselves to their parents, especially if they've got good parents. Like I have really good parents. So I was always kind of in the shadow of my folks. And, I tell the kids, I look like I am a person who sets out to accomplish anything and accomplishes those things. But the reality is that my fear overrides my desire to try things that would be hard for me. And so all the things that I do are actually quite easy. And so it looks like I'm batting 1,000 or I'm batting 900 or something like that. But it's the fear that's keeping me from doing it. And, Kimberly said something really, really profound. Maybe I can remember her exact words. We were talking about one of our children, And I told her, I just wish our children would not make the same mistakes that we did. I just wish they would listen and that they would take good advice that was learned from long experience and just do what it is that we tell them to do. And I think her words were, yeah, we can't speak loud enough to, let's see, words aren't loud enough to outshine our actions. I think that's what she said, or to outweigh our actions. Our words, I can't remember. It was something like that. I wish that that they would listen to what we say instead of watching what we do. is what that came to. That's really funny. Content Angel says, let's see, wrong button here. Let me close everything, or close that down. Content Angel says, Gavin, people spend years in therapy to identify their flaws and then use them to their advantage. You're way ahead of the game. Congrats. I don't know that I'm way ahead of the game. I am 50 years old. But when I was a missionary, one of the like spirituality aside, spiritual experiences, blessings, whatever you want to call them aside, one of the benefits of working as a missionary like I did when I was a young man is we had to do what was called personal inventory. During personal inventory, we would think back on the week. Sometimes we'd open up our journal. I wasn't a very good journaler, so I really didn't do that. But we would look back on our week, on all the things that we accomplished, our accomplishments, our failures, our struggles, everything, and take an inventory of who we are and what we are and what we did, and see if there's something that we can do to make a change for the better. Celebrate the wins and work on the losses. And I have been trained to be introspective ever since. It's been a huge blessing in my life. It's a weekly habit. Every Sunday, I do a personal inventory, and I've been doing that. I mean, I'm 50 years old now, so I've been doing that for 31 years. And anyway, thank you for that comment. That's actually very, very sweet. All right, remember, send your questions in to 3questions@gavinfish.com. Question number 2. Who was your favorite teacher and why? I did not make up this question. This sounds like a Gavin question because didn't I just share with you guys? Hang on. Where is that? I think I did. Speaking of being a missionary as a young man, this was my view of my family and friends saying goodbye to me that cold November morning, 1995. Oh my goodness, speaking of being a missionary, guys. Oh my goodness, going through memory lane here. Here's my original from 1995 English-Spanish dictionary. It's kind of falling apart. But man, I use that a lot. I think I have in here. Of course, now I can't find it. Now I can't find it. But 3 letters between me and my 6th grade teacher that I wrote to him and he wrote back to me after I graduated from elementary school. Oh, here's one other thing. I wanted to show you guys this. This is a bag of, it is the bag that was once filled with sugar. Azúcar. Where are we? Right there. And I want to show you where it's from. It's on here. It's from Concepcion, Tucumán. Tucumán is a province in Argentina. And when I was leaving, which would have been January of 97, there was a little family that I'd become very close with. They were amazing. His name, he was maybe 10. His name was Juan, and his mom's name was Victoria. And they were poor in resources, not poor in spirit or poor in value. They were amazing. She wanted to give me a gift, a going away gift, but just didn't have the money to buy me a gift. And I was just like, you don't need to. You don't need to. She went to the store and found this bag of sugar because she was originally from Tucumán. And she said, it will be something for you to remember me by. And it is. I have kept this now for almost 30 years. Anyway, okay, getting back to my favorite teacher and why. I was looking for those letters. I think it's in another little bin that I have. Anyway, my favorite teacher of all time is Bob Bales. Mr. Bales was my 6th grade teacher. I remember that Mr. Bales turned 27 the year that I was in 6th grade. Is that right? No. Yeah, I think so. I think it was 27 he turned when I was 11 years old. And he is now a retired superintendent of a public school system down in the Bay Area of Northern California. Anyway, Mr. Bales was, I think, the best teacher ever. He just was the best teacher ever. What made him the best? I think what made Mr. Bales the best was just his quiet diligence. I think he knew how to speak to a pre-teenager and a teenager. He just knew how to speak to us, and maybe was empathetic towards us. He could remember maybe what it was like to be 11, 12, 13 years old. We used to, I'm not the only one, a group of us used to stop by his classroom on the way home from school, like on the frequent, all the way up through high school. Well, not through high school graduation because he left before then, but into high school. We would go by his room at Trajan Elementary in Orangevale, California. Now, I want to share with you something that I have shared on Facebook. Let me see if I can bring this up. Hopefully you guys will be able to see this. This is a news report. I'm going to have to mute my microphone, I think, so that there's no feedback the way I'm doing this. This is a news report from my 6th grade year, and if you look carefully, you will see me in this, but this is my 6th grade class with Mr. Bales, Trajan Elementary School, Orangevale, California.
Well, you may now realize it, but young people actually watch an average of 7 hours of television a day, they say. That translates to about 91 full days a year. And it's that startling statistic that has prompted an Orangevale teacher to take action. News Watch 13's Elisa White reports 6th graders at his school are now getting a taste of life without television.
Mike? I know. You guys don't have any fun, so you don't want me to have any fun.
Mike, they didn't want to have you. It shows like ABC's Growing Pains that these students at Trajan Elementary School will be tuning out. 93 6th graders are trying to kick the boob tube habit. As of Friday, March 6th.
You know what I love about this video is I mean, there's Mr. Bales. That's Mr. Bales. But also, I'm still in touch with so many of these kids. Like, we were kids. I'm still in touch with so many of them. I love them to death.
And for 1 month, they've agreed to stop watching and listening to television. The first ever project, called TV Timeout, was spearheaded by 6th grade teacher Bob Bales.
Not that TV is bad. We've seen lots of quality things on TV, but we want to understand that there are lots of other choices, such as interacting with mom and dad or brothers or sisters or reading books or taking up new hobbies, and I think that's the important thing we've learned from this first weekend without TV.
There are no watchdogs in this TV timeout. The students have been given responsibility to monitor themselves in keeping with the agreement not.
I remember when the news stations came and interviewed us, we were on all 3 major networks in Sacramento. I remember just thinking how old they were. And look at this beautiful woman from 1986. Like she probably just graduated from college. It's so funny.
To view television. As you might have guessed, some of the students have already begun to miss their usual daily dose of television. Others say, though, they're using their newfound free time to read books, play games, and talk to family and friends.
My mom thinks it's better, and I do more of my chores. She likes that. Mostly being bored, trying to get away from TV, and just going crazy.
Do you miss television at all?
A little bit.
Despite their pledge to tune out TV, the students say they wanted to watch this broadcast. Well, thanks to videotape recorders, they say they'll do that when TV Timeout ends April 7th. Elisa White, Newswatch 13, Orangevale. They'll probably spend twice the time next week watching just to catch up.
Right? Well, you may not realize that young people actually...
Did you catch me? Did you see me in there? My cute little face with my bull haircut? Ah, yes. Anyway, best teacher ever, Bob Bales, for sure. I'm still in touch with him. I think I've shared this story before too. When we were coming to the end of 6th grade, he promised us as a class that each time one of us graduated from college, he would take us out to dinner. And I raised my hand. I was one of several kids in the class of my faith tradition. And I said, Mr. Bales, that's not fair. I have to go on a mission before I finish college. That's 2 extra years. And he goes, tell you what, Gavin, when you come home from your mission, you look me up and I'll take you out to dinner. And when I got home, that was one of the first things that we did. My little sister had set it up for me. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Last question out of our 3 questions segment tonight. If someone could read your internal monologue for one day, what would surprise them the most? I forgot that that question was there. My internal monologue these days, my mind is still very busy on my kind of post midlife crisis right now. I'm still missing people, and I'm endeavoring to get back in touch with those people. And so I'm spending a lot of time just thinking about them. So that's mostly what I'm thinking about these days. I do think about the kids a lot, and Kimberly and the kids a lot. A lot of us, I don't know, just thinking, what would surprise you the most? I mean, I do spend a fair amount of time like thinking about World War II. That maybe doesn't surprise anybody, but yeah, I think you would. It's kind of a melancholy place in my brain right now. I'm working through it though. It's just I don't know. 50 hit me hard, and it's been tough, but I'm happy, I'm just kind of melancholy. Let's see if there's anything you guys want me to read here. Let's see. Joel over at Surviving the Survivor had a relative of Melodee's on the paternal side. That's awesome. Need to put a lot more pressure on her. I agree. Let's see. Content Angel says, Gavin, can you imagine a teacher doing that now? It would be tyranny. Parents would freak. As I remember it, we came up with that idea as a class. And Mr. Bales had experience in PR. And so he put it out to the news stations. But it was a project that we put on, that we decided to do as a class. So, yeah. Should we do the theme song?
It's 3 questions with Gavin Fish.
Bow. All right, guys. We're going to call it for the night. Remember to get those questions into me. Nothing's off limits. You just send them in. I know that people were asking questions in here like, how tall am I? Where did I serve my mission? Things like that. But no, those are questions that go to the email. 3 questions at gavinfish.com. I am 6'2", and I went to Cordoba, Argentina. All right, with that, guys, I'm going to bid you adieu. Thank you very much for your time that you spent with me tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of the production value, a little bit of the AI theme songs. And maybe we'll add a segment or 2 as we go along. But with that, I bid you adieu, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.